What's up, guys? It's Brent with Lykins Motorsports. Hope you had a good holiday week so far. I'm going to try to get a little work done today. My goal is to get these small block Ford tunnel port heads assembled and on the engine today. So that's our goal. We'll see if we can meet it. Just as a quick recap, we've got factory heads that have been fitted with some bronze 7mm valve guides. We've got some Victory custom intake valves. These are two 150s, 7mm stem, and then some Ferrea 1.6 7mm stem valves. Fairly light stuff here. 82 grams on the exhaust, 115 on the intake. Not bad for a stainless valve with a big old fat head like that. But we're going to get everything measured up here. We're going to measure all of our install heights. I've got some PAC titanium retainers. We've got some PAC valve spring locators and some titanium retainers, or I'm sorry, titanium locks. Haven't found out which one I'm going to use yet. We got standard, we got plus 50, so we'll have to do some measuring to see what we're going to need. We've got our head cleaned up and the valve guides all swabbed out nice and clean, and we're going to start checking some install heights. Alright, we're going to check our install height here. Alright, there's 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 1, 930. We're actually aiming for about 1, 830. That's where our springs want to be installed. So see if I can get some shims under here and try it again. We'll sneak up on it. There's a 60 thousandths shim. These locators had to be massaged a little bit to fit because we had some custom valve guides. They fit a little bit snugger than usual. Alright, so with a 60 thousandths shim, we'll try this again. 7, 8. So 1,870. We need about another, I'm aiming for about 1,830 or 1,840. So let's try another 30 thousandths shim and see where we go. So our locator still is at the base of our guide. We got plenty of room for our valve seal. This is kind of an unusual camshaft combination in terms of spring loads and everything. This is a billet core solid flat tappet, which requires more spring pressure than normal, but not as much as what a solid roller would be. So 1836 is what I'm calling that. So that's where I think we're gonna stay. Let's check our valve spring at 1830. Alright, so with my new spring pressure tester, I can set the stop and it'll pull down to the same spot each and every time. That allows me to check spring loads very quickly. So, good valve springs will always be within a couple pounds of each other. And I'll go through and check all 16 of these, not only in seat load, but open and coil bind. Alright, so at 1/830 spring height, we have 200 pounds seat and roughly 450 pounds over the nose, with a good coil bind clearance that's recommended by the spring manufacturer. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just go through all other 7 here and set them up to 1/830. So the thing about engine building is knowing where things need to be and then making it go to that spot. So we're at 1905 on the exhaust side. So we'll try it with a 60,000 shim. This is what old time guys called blueprinting. We don't use that terminology anymore because pretty much everything has to be manhandled a little bit. So we're at 1847, so a 15,000 shim will get us right in there. We did get a question the other day about, you know, do they have to be to the exact thou? And no, they do not. Your spring loads are so they're just not different enough at that level. So if I can get these within 10,000ths of each other, I'm happy. The valves will the valve springs will all come in within 3 or 4 pounds of each other, and coil bind clearance will be close. So we're at 1834 on that one. So now that I have pretty much know where I need to be with all of these, I'll go ahead and just lay out my locators and my shims. So on the intakes we used a 60 and a 30, and then on the exhaust we used a 60 and a 15. So I'll go ahead and lay all those out, put my locators in, and check all my install heights. Alright, so after a few minutes of work here, we've got them all dialed in. 36, 34, 36, 30, 35, 30, 35, 34. So that's pretty close, guys. Next step is to, we're going to check our, we'll put a couple valve seals on and check our retainer to seal clearance. Alright, we're using some Viton valve seals. Just going to stick retainer and locks on here. Grab our calipers. Check between top of the seal, the bottom of the retainer. So we are at 780 clearance. Our lift at the valve is just a little bit under 600, so we've got plenty of clearance before our retainer bottoms out on our seal. We're good to go. So I can get the rest of these valves loaded and start putting our springs on. Alright, so here's one assembled cylinder head. Titanium retainers, titanium locks, everything really light. Light valves, light valve package. So makes for a good combination. Let me get this other head done and we'll CC the chambers one more time just to double check everything and put some paint on them. Alright, and we got a finished pair of cylinder heads, all painted and ready to go on the engine. So I consider myself very lucky. Most people have not seen 302 tunnel port heads, and I've seen, this is my second engine that I've done with them, and have seen a couple more pair roll through here. So I consider myself very fortunate to be in on such cool vintage pieces. What's neat is, if you notice, so these are 1968 heads. Look at the spark plug seat. It is not a tapered seat, it is a gasketed seat. So these heads used, they use just like I use a lot of Autolite spark plugs, so like I would use 3922, 3923, something like that for these heads. I'll have to check on the dyno, but it's just a regular gasketed spark plug like we would use on a modern trick flow head or AFR head, which is pretty cool. Alright guys, this is Brent, Lykins Motorsports. Should have a couple more videos for you guys this weekend as I'm working steadily on this small block Ford. But I hope you had a good holiday and a good week so far. I'll be in touch with you. I'll see you in a few days.